Welcome everybody to the third day of 31 Days of Horror, and today we're looking at another film from the Cold War Creatures box set, and that is The Werewolf, which is a film released in 1956, clocking in at 79 minutes long. It's a horror science fiction film directed by Fred F. Sears, who is most well known for directing Earth versus the Flying Saucers, principally because the special effects on that film were done by Ray Harryhausen. And this stars Stephen Rich, who had a couple of minor roles in a couple of other film noirs that were in the Columbia Noir box sets, Murder by Contract and City of Fear, as well as Don McGowan, who had minor roles in the likes of Blazing Saddles and Truck Turner, but did play the Gill Man on land in The Creature Walks Among Us, one of the sequels to The Creature from the Black Lagoon, as well as Joyce Holden, who I've not seen anything from. So, the basic premise of this film is the rival in a small town of a dishevelled stranger launches a series of murders committed by some sort of animal. As the town doctor and his daughter attempt to help the stranger, the sheriff investigates the murders and they uncover a sinister experiment involving two rogue scientists, a car accident, his wife and children, and a serum that causes a man to turn into a ravaging werewolf. So, this is quite a low-budget film, pretty much the same as Creature with the Atom Brain. It's very minimal in terms of its effects or anything like that. But I do respect it for not sticking to the rigid mythos of the werewolf, as usually it has to include a few things really. Biting someone turns them into a werewolf. You can only kill a werewolf by shooting it with a silver bullet, and the man only changes into a werewolf when it's a full moon. This has none of that, either because they wanted to change that mythos or because the budget was so restrictive that they couldn't do it. But either way, it does make for a different kind of werewolf film. And Stephen Rich is also pretty good as a titular werewolf. The rest of the cast is solid. The plot is engrossing, it has some palpable tension, and I like the fact it doesn't opt for the killing the werewolf straight away, unlike most werewolf films where people immediately go for the lynch mob approach of, pitchforks and torches. It's the police do actually try and capture the werewolf first, which is nice to see, but obviously that doesn't work out, as, werewolf continues to go on a rampage and continues to try and kill people. Now, it does have its problems. It does feel its length. It's 10 minutes longer than The Creature with the Atom Brain, and it does feel that extra 10 minutes, which is a bit unfortunate, and then that's purely because of the pacing. It's not the best, and there isn't all that much in the way of spectacle either. Creature with the Atom Brain at least had some, action scenes going for it, whereas this, it's merely just, people being attacked by the werewolf and the police trying to capture it. But it is a bit more interesting and engrossing than that. It's just a shame that it's not a little bit livelier and not a little bit more action-packed, so it can keep your interest, or at least it could be shorter, so therefore those problems are lessened. But yeah, still, 79 minutes is not too long. There's certainly far longer films out there that are far worse, so it does have that going for it, and it's overall enjoyable. I do have to admit that you have to be into these kind of classic B movies from the 50s. If you're obviously used to, your more action-orientated, more special effects-driven kind of films, then you wouldn't really get along with this. And certainly don't expect transformation scenes to rival the likes of An American Werewolf in London, because, this is a good, 25 years before that or so. So, the effects are decent, though. The makeup effects especially are fairly good. They're not spectacular, but they certainly rival, say, the Wolfman from 1941, which I know isn't saying much given that was 15 years before this, but they still rival that. And overall it's enjoyable. It's certainly not the worst film out of the box set, and certainly not the worst werewolf film I've seen either. So I do highly recommend watching it. Obviously, if you're not sure about these, and I would recommend renting it before buying the box set itself. But still a solid effort and a solid contribution to the box set overall. So that's the third day of horror over with. So we'll be looking at another film tomorrow, and it's going to be another modern one. I think I'm going to change between modern and old day after day, just to mix things up really. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.